Kanbanwa watashi wa Tomodachi's death. Good afternoon, all my friends. So fun to see you again. I'm doing better today. I got some rest, and I didn't have to go as early to the gym, but I did get a good hour walk run in. So I think I told you I've been doing. I picked up a game with some younger guys for racquetball, and I ended up pulling a hamstring the other day. So I haven't been running, and so yikes! I have to run before I can play with them again. So because my legs, I wasn't quite in shape. I've been doing walking with this diet, and ooh wee, did I have to step it up a notch so that I don't get injuries. So today is number 22, and I'm going to talk about, if I could, what I would tell my childhood self if I could go back. It would be very interesting, right? Because I don't know, by this time of our life, we've seen a lot and experienced a lot and learned a lot. Hopefully. Hopefully, we all learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And there's a lot of times I just say, gosh, if you would have, there's so many things I wish I would have done differently. But I mean, honestly, we're growing and learning a lot at that age too. So with that, I think I'll get started. And I just made sort of a list of 3 things for sure. I think I have coffee on my nose. So you start noticing things when you do these videos like, wow, I need to do that different. And I say fun a lot and I smack sometimes and you don't notice you're doing it. I think it's when you're thinking, but what an experience. So these are the 3 things I would go back if I could. And honestly, what I would tell anybody who's a teenager now. So this is what I would tell my teenage self, knowing what I know today. I would say somehow, the first thing I would definitely do is somehow find a center. So find something in your life that can stabilize you and something to believe in. Something, for me, it's spiritual. I guess it doesn't have to be, but I would definitely find a center point that stabilizes you. I guess I think of it, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but I think of it like a tree, how a tree is grounded in the ground and it grows up to the sky. Somehow find a center point that stabilizes you as an individual. The second thing is somehow find a way to love yourself, and find your why for life. What am I about? Why am I here? What am I doing? Those kinds of things. And then third, if I could go back, there's so many things I regret about not being a better leader. I had a lot of opportunities to lead throughout high school, sports, just different organizations. And I would learn to be a great leader. I would learn to be a great daughter, a great sister, and a great friend. Those are definitely 3 things I would go back and tell myself to redo so that I had a really solid foundation. So when I talk about a center, like I said, to me, now that I have one, for me, it's God, but it's not that's not for everyone. Um, for whatever it is for you, somehow find a way to get plugged in every day. So for me, I have a devotional book. I read the Bible and I pray, and so every day I get plugged into that. So, and whatever you may think about God or the Bible, even if you were reading the Bible just as another book, it has a lot of very positive ways to live your life, um, and examples. And for me, it's a letter from God to show us how to live our life and stay out of, honestly, stay out of harm's way, how to prosper. There's just so much good, but that's just for me. And I don't want to, I know it can be offensive, but for me, that's what it is. And so I, find another book, I guess. I guess one of them here, I said, I was looking at, there's a lot of self-development books you could get, if that's one way that you can plug in and center yourself. Um, One of the books that's really helped me is called, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but I'll think of it. Um, Untethered Soul. That helped me get rid of those. We talked about the ego yesterday, and Sandra, by the way, posted an awesome link. I started reading it. There's a lot to it, and I'm going to get more into it. How the ego is divided into three things, and it explained a lot, but I should have wrote it down, but I want to get into it more. And I knew that. I think I had, in one of my classes we went over that, but I don't remember all of it. So anyway, that voice in there, that negative voice that is telling you all these negative things, find a way to get rid of that. So center yourself somehow. So every day you start with a um, positive voice, not a negative voice. So that voice seems like it'll always creep up on you and say all these things. But if you start with a very positive message, I think it helps you go throughout your day. It sets the pace, right? Um, Gives you living water in your roots, and so it sets a pace for the day. So try and find something like that. One thing I'm trying, I do a lot of leadership books and self-help and things like that, ways to improve myself. For you, it may be something else, but meditation. So I'm trying to get better at it. I'm such a busy person. That's really kind of hard. I don't know if any of you have tried meditation, but it takes time. So one thing I've been doing lately is just like, so at the end of the day, I just like have a bubble bath and set music, really calming music. I've turned lights out and then lit candles as well, and that's kind of sets it up. And then I try to clear my mind and give the day back, give it away, get rid of all the negative and just relax. I'm not very good at doing it very long. And there's a lot of meditation books out there that teach you how to do it. I think the more you do it, I think the more relaxed you would be. And so I'm working on that. I'm not very good at it yet, but I intend to work more and more at it to learn to give up all the negative things that I have in my life. And also your stress. How can you give away the stress of your day, whatever it may be? It may be good stress, maybe negative stress, but so that's the first thing. I would really advise anyone, and especially myself, because I don't feel like I had some kind of stabling force that grounded me. So remember, the tree where the roots go in far, I mean, they grow out wide and they reach for the sky and the sunshine. And didn't really, I don't believe I had that stabilizing force. My parents were great, and they were awesome to me, and I had a really good family environment, and they took good care of me. But I somehow didn't have some kind of spiritual stability at that time in my life. And then the second one, find yourself. So, sort of a who am I and what do I want in life? Sort of a self discovery, which I'm doing now, and I wish I would have done more and pre planned, sort of planned my life out a little better. You know, what are my goals? So, besides being really good at sports, that's what I did a lot of. And it was fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. But I didn't have a real good plan for my life. I kind of lived on, kind of just did things. I think if I remember right, like I just wanted to get out, get a job, and make money, and I didn't really plan out. I remember my mom and dad trying to get me to go to college, and I remember getting a scholarship for sports and College of the Desert, I think, in Palm Desert, I believe is where I was supposed to go. But looking back, I don't think I would have finished it, and it probably would have been a waste of time because I just wasn't grounded at that time in my life, and I wish I would have been. So I would say for anyone, a teenager, and I'm kind of saying, 14, 15, 16. I'm amazed at the things that teenagers can do now in school as far as dual credits and advanced credits, advanced classes. So a lot of them can almost have all of their generals done before they even hit college. So we have a great program um, here at the college, and where you can sign up as a high school student and do those advanced classes. Yeah, there's so much more advanced than what we were back then, and maybe they had them and I wasn't paying attention. But so I would really set up some goals, set up some academic goals. What do I want to do? What would I love to do? Um, what interests me? Those kinds of things. And even as far as fitness and sports and things like that, I did play some intramural sports after school. But as a young adult going into college, it'd be pretty fun to go back and do that again. That would be a lot of fun. I wish I would have set some more goals up as far as, you know, doing some sports activities and things like that. And then financially, gosh, I'm learning things now that I should have known then. So, Dave Ramsey's a super awesome um, individual who teaches finances, and it's based on a biblical version, but not really. I mean, he is very smart, and I'm finally doing those things. Instead of struggling all this time, I could have set things up so it would have been easier. But, I didn't listen to anybody. I was hard headed. So I would say to my teenagers, listen, don't be hard headed. Don't be hard headed. So another thing I think that's real important is to set boundaries. So as a teenager, learn to set boundaries. Set boundaries for yourself, for others, and for your future. So I think, I guess what I'm thinking about in the way of that is a future husband or wife. What do I want? Plan it out. I would want a best friend and someone, who's a lot like me, who would want to have fun and has the same goals and things like that. I mean, I did good for myself, believe me. But it was a rough road. It was very rough. Like, I didn't pre-plan anything. And so I just went by the, uh, I don't know, what do you say, skirt in my pants, and did whatever I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And, I didn't have anything planned out. It worked out. but it was a rough road, and it doesn't have to be. Pre-plan it, set boundaries up, set up goals. Take your time, talk to others and listen to them. Listen to them, because I didn't. I was too headstrong. I remember my dad trying to tell me things, and nope, nope, I'm not going to listen, because I was too set in my ways, and I knew everything, and I did whatever I wanted to. So that's a second thing that I would tell myself if I could go back and talk to me. The third thing is be a good leader. And I think this is one of the things I so wish I could do over, because, a lot of my good friends, back from high school, um, and junior high, I wish I would have got to know them better and really reached out to them and helped, in some way. Just been a good friend, and I just wasn't. I was so, it seemed like self-absorbed and self-centered, and I didn't take the time to get to know people. And I wish I could go back and redo that. I do, but I'm getting to know them now. But I think also being a good leader is being a good daughter, a great daughter. What? Oh, I wish I could go back and redo that, because, gosh, I just remember being such a, I don't know, I think I was really selfish. So, am I just trying to grow up? But I could do so much more. I could have done, and now, my dad's already passed on. So you can't take that back. But I was thankful that at least I was centered and grounded enough by the time, I was planning on moving back to Havasu and living by my parents so I could really be a great daughter. And, you know, it was too late by the time I still haven't done that, but it was too late. My dad got sick and my mom's been sick, and now it's too late. But I was able to spend a lot of time with them. So towards the end. So that's good. And my mom is doing well. Thank the Lord for my sister who's taking care of her, because she's such a blessing. So I'm trying to be a better daughter. I am. And then also, how about being a really good sibling? Geez, I don't know. I don't feel like I did that much as a sister, and I'm trying to do better. But now we all live apart and we're spread all over the place, and so I'm trying. Life gets in the way, but if I could go back, I would tell myself to definitely spend more time with my siblings. Be a good sister. That's all. Um, and then again, my friends and my teammates. So, I played a lot of sports, and I got the opportunity to be, a leader in some respects. And I wasn't the best. I was so selfish back then. That's all I can think about myself. I gotta be the score the most. I gotta, I don't know what it was, but I would definitely say get to know people, you know, get to know people, get to know, even if they're not your friends, just get to know people and listen. Hey, Sandra. Um, she's asking, do you think your parents think you weren't a good daughter? Um, Probably. I think, I think they would say I was. Um, there were times that I was pretty selfish, and I think my dad wondered. But yeah, I think you're right. That makes me have tears in my eyes. Um, I think so. Yeah, yeah. Think looking at it that way, you're right. You're right. You're very right. So that's a good way to look at it. Very good. Yeah, yeah. She says they probably would think I'm a great daughter. I've accomplished a lot. True, and a lot of that is directly related to what the examples they showed me of being great parents. They were very entrepreneur. My dad started a business and did super well with it, and they were always I could always go back home anytime I needed to, and my dad would always put us to work at any time, and they provided a great example. That's why I believe I've been able to do a lot as well as their example. But thank you. Yes, you're right. That's what counts, Sandra. Thank you. That's a good reminder, isn't it? Very good reminder. So I guess that, I don't have a lot more except thank you, Sandra, for reminding me, because that's what's being a good friend is just reminding us those things. Um, and how, if I went back, I would say, how can I serve others as a young adult? Because you can. I mean, just because you're young doesn't mean that you can't do a lot to serve others. There's a lot that you could do. And listen. I've had to work on listening skills because I think I was always about what can I say? What can I do to contribute? Look at me. I don't know those things, I always had to be the one. I don't know. I was a show off, I think. um, and I don't know, but but I have learned to keep my mouth shut and listen to others, and I try to practice it a lot. Um, it's not always easy for me because I'm a talker, but I do when I meet someone new now. I try to just be quiet and listen, and that's not a natural thing for me. So listening skills are very, very important. And I have taken a lot of classes on leadership to learn the importance of that. So listening would be a very, very big thing that I would teach myself, and to pay attention to others. So, I've talked to a lot of our friends from Eagle Mountain, and I'm amazed at what we were all going through at individual times that I wasn't aware of. I think we're just all trying to grow up, but I really wish I could go back and tell myself to pay attention to others and really help in any way I can. But yeah, I'm trying to now, so that's what counts, right? I mean, I'm trying to do it now, and hopefully I can talk to other teenagers. I have two granddaughters that are 16, and oh my goodness, another one that's goodness, I think she's 14 already. Gosh. So if they wanted my advice, I would tell them these things. And I've tried to, through the years, if they're growing up, I try to be as big an influence. And honestly, that's a lot of the reason that's a lot of the reason that I've accomplished so much, is because I'm doing it because I want to be a good example, a good leader for my kids and grandkids. So, so I am doing that with my own grandkids, and as many as I could influence, I would love to. So, anyway, so my three things, just to recap what I said, what I would tell a teenager or my teenage self is try to find a center early on, find some way to center yourself, where spiritual or whatever you can find, whatever, maybe it's a good friend, maybe it's a good adult that could help you. I don't know. Find some way to get grounded. Find yourself and love yourself and figure out your why, and then be a great leader. Be a great leader at an early age. Man, I'm telling you, I meet kids because I work at the college. I meet kids that I'm so just, or and even my friends that went on to college at a young age and just accomplished so much early on. Teenagers nowadays, man, if they're grounded and they have a center and they know who they are and they set their goals, man, they can do so much. I've got people I know at college that they're getting their doctorates under 30. And honestly, my so that's what my granddaughters are planning on being doctors. My two, one of them wants to be a veterinarian, and the other one wants to be a general doctor. So far, I mean, that's what their plans are. Um, so I always like to ask them, what do you where it's just not really if you go to college, it's when you do. What are you going to do? What college, where do you want to go? And I usually when I meet teenagers, I'm the same way. I'm like, well, what are your plans for the future? And I like to ask them, and they usually know. I mean, they're very intelligent, and what an honor to be able to talk to teenagers about things like that. It's just such an honor. And young college students, man, it's so fun. It's so good, not fun. It's so exhilarating to talk to young students that are like they're so grounded. Yep, I'm doing this, and this, and that's so cool, so cool. So I think that's all I have today. Tomorrow I'm going to have my granddaughter who's 16 over, and just a feisty, beautiful young girl that I just love talking to her. She's so talented. She sings and she's artistic and beautiful, and I think we're going to have fun. So I hope you'll tune in tomorrow, and thanks for listening again. Thanks for putting up with me in my 100 video challenge. So I love you all. I hope your day is filled with sunshine. Mine is. Today it looks beautiful out. Um, but I'm going to guess it's cold. When I went to the gym this morning, it was pretty chilly. Pretty chilly, I think 18 degrees. So I hope you're doing well today, Sandra, and your job is going well. And thanks for tuning in. I just love your comments. So, love you all. Have an exceptional day, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow.